Hello everyone, Julian here bringing you another Union Deck Arena profile video. Today we're going to be looking at Bleach, specifically the Mayuri deck build. With the release of the first Volume 2 set, I decided that I wanted to try at least one of the decks out for Bleach, as I only previously played Yuhobak for a little bit. And while that deck does have some upside, there are a lot of problems with the deck in terms of like the build up. So maybe I'll revisit that deck one day. Maybe not, but until then, this deck, specifically the Mayuri deck, has been very fun to play. It reminds me of an old school Yu-Gi-Oh resource management deck. And I know a lot of people tend to, Yu-Gi-Oh, fine. It still plays very well in the Union Arena deck. There are quite a few cards in this deck that I actually love, and then there's a few I don't like, namely this card. But let me get into it, give you some explanations, and hopefully you like the video. So first, we're playing 3 copies of Loopy. When she's sidelined, you mill the top 2 cards of your deck, draw a trigger, and my problem with this card is, well, I have 2 problems. Number 1, her being a 1500 base does not warrant her effect. If her effect said look at the top 2 and then you can send a Kurasuchi Corp card to the trash, sure. But milling 2 randomly in a deck like this that you're looking for specific things is not great. And her not being a 2K base, it's just bad. She's very powered for what she does. And honestly speaking, I wish I didn't have to play this card. I do it because of the namesake of having the affinity on the top. But other than that, I would much rather play something else. So I played 3 copies of her because of the namesake and that she's a draw trigger. Now I play 4 Saruchi. If I say any of these names wrong, I apologize. I've only seen the first season of Bleach, so these characters, to my knowledge, are like the revamp of the show, the 1000-Year Blood War, whatever it's called. So I apologize if I butcher these names. But yeah, Saruchi, when she sideline draws a card, she pairs very well with Nimu, and even though she's only 1000 base, her combo potential within the deck actually helps compensate for that tremendously. For Mayuri, typical get ready target. Not really much to say there. You want to search him out as much as possible. So he's the only raid in the deck. And then the last 0 cost I play are 4 Ichigos. This is more so to help get to the cards I want to see. He does wind up getting stuck sometimes on the board. So I typically just move him to the front line and let him die pretty early in the game so that doesn't happen. Moving on to the 1-drops, I only play 4 copies of Dordani. This card in this deck gets big really fast. As soon as 1 card dies from your card effects on your turn, he gets 1000 BP. Typically, I like to pair him with the Mayuri raid because if at least 1 card dies, he gets 1000, and then Mayuri raids over him, gives him 1000 and impact. So automatically, he's really good. I've gotten this guy to some pretty big numbers, as high as 7,000, I believe, at some point in time. For 1 cost, it's not too bad, and he's actually one of my favorite targets for Quit Your Yapping. So we're playing him at 4. Moving into the 2-drops, the color trigger, Kensei. I am actually not a fan of this card. Now, what has me play this deck is not this deck, this card specifically is 1, he is the color trigger, so, I feel a little obligated to play him, being that he is also in theme, but he's also a 3k BP at 2 energy, which is great, because the sight card would make him 4000 at all times. So that offsets his pretty mediocre effect. On play, he could play a copy of himself for the trash, and that's a hard once per turn. So if you play another copy, you can't. And you have to pay an AP for that effect. So it's like, being that the deck is so combo focused, I never have used that effect. I don't see myself ever using the effect unless I have the extra BP to spare. 4 copies of Charlotte. This guy, I have a love-hate relationship for. I love his effect. During your turn when he's sidelined, you rest a card. But he's a hard once per turn. So with that in mind, it shouldn't just be locked to during your turn. I should be able to do it during my opponent's turn. Granted, I understand why it's not like that, because it would be kind of powerful, yes, but he being a hard once per turn limits the deck's functionality, especially when everything is so low-bodied. But I can understand the balance focus too, because if I'm just resting on my opponent's stuff, then yeah, it could be problematic for defensive purposes. And then the only 3 costs I play are 4 copies of Nimu. I have the last altar on the way. I could not wait to put this video out, so that's why I have the mismatch set. I apologize. This card is amazing. 3k base power. You can destroy another Kurasuchi card to Look at the top 4 cards of your deck to add a Nemu, Mayuri, or a Kurisuchi card. So she filters out your deck, and this is why I said she combos so well with Saruchi, because you get your search and then you get a draw. So you're getting 2 cards without paying an action point. Like after you play her, she's free. Like you just use the effect and kill another Kurisuchi card. So she helps keep your board clean. She gives you power for Dordani. And overall, she just searches out your win cons and like your strong cards. She's just so good. The only thing, if you want to like put a little thing on her, would be that she buries your event cards, which unfortunate, but that's the thing with any cert card in Union Arena, right? Going into the 4 Mayuris, the only thing that I find balanced about this card is the fact that it is a non-trigger card, because this card is overloaded. So on play, you target a Kurisuchi card, blow it up, blow up a card on your opponent's side of the field, front line, with the same BP or less, and you draw a card. Like, you get a lot of triggers at one go. You get your sideline effects if you have, or you trigger your field card to give your 1,000. Like it just sets up everything. And even the raid Mayuri, blow up something with this effect, and then you get to res something after you raid over it. It just provides so much utility. Because if this card had a trigger, it would have to be like AP2. So I'm glad that they kind of didn't do that. Granted, like I love my triggers, so it not having draw or active or something does suck, but I can also understand why it doesn't have a trigger. This card is great, 4,000 base BP. You can get rid of trump blockers off your opponent's side of the field, also clearing up your board for bigger plays. And then the star of the show, for Mayuri, this raid is, at first glance, kind of underwhelming. At first glance. I only say that because typically you want to start your turn off with your raids. And you have to kind of save this sometimes, because he does give another unit 1,000 BP and impact the Kurisuchi Corps specifically. And then during your turn, if he's on the front line, if something was sidelined due to one of your card effects, you're able to bring back one of your Kurisuchi cards or a Nemu, provided you have the right energy, and you can play it in resting onto your field. So you can play it in front, you can play it in the back. So if you want more defense, you just want to set up your energy for your next turn, it's there. Overall, I love this card. I love this deck, actually. Like, again, as someone that didn't really get into the world of Bleach, this has left quite a good impression on me. So maybe I'll give it a second chance. Who knows? Going into now the event and site cards, play 3 copies of the site card. In my initial build, I played this at 0. I didn't think the effect was really worth it until I actually played the deck, and now I understand. So the first effect, sideline one of your characters, I have not used that effect. I saved my sidelining for the Mayuri and the Nemu. Now, the second effect, if one of your cards were killed this turn, you could rest this, and your Nemu and your Kurisuchi cards get 1,000 BP that are currently on the field until the end of the turn. This is important because you have several cards in this deck that have base 3,000 BP. This will make sure that they can hit over most raids in the game. Very, very important. So this card is at 3. I might even play it at 4. We'll see. But you definitely want to see this card on your field. And then, of course, the 4 Bankais, pretty standard in every deck. Now getting into your special card. This card is probably the most unique special in the game. So you silent one of your Kurisuchi unit cards, and then you draw a card. Then you can play up to 2 blue cards with the fulfill requirements energy-wise and 1 AP that are either Nemu or the Kurisuchi Corp. And you play them in the sideline and active. Now, this means that you can grab your 3Ks. This means you can grab Nemu to restore your back row. This means you can grab your Dordanis and maybe you extend your turn. This is like one of the only special cards in the game that you could start your turn off with, and it has such a big payoff later. So I want to tell you to never limit your interaction with this on like, oh, I'm only going to play this way. Be open with how you engage with this card, because this card, even early, is like as soon as you hit 4 energy, if you're able to play this card and fill your board up and do early damage, it's so worth it. Yes, you only get 4 of them, so you want to like not shotgun it, but like there's been games that I played where people are still setting up, and I'll have my 4 energy, the extra AP, I'll blow up my card, put 2 units in the front now, and I take 2 life off. Plus I got to draw a card, so now I have 2 blocks for the next turn. My energy's already set up, and my hand's already being rebuilt to start pushing up. Like overall, this card Unlike the Xenon special card that I fucking hate, excuse my language, this card I love. Like I love the uniqueness of this, and I hope that if they decide to do more unique stuff with special cards, this I think is the gold standard. This is an awesome card. Okay, that's pretty much it. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Very excited to share this, especially considering that this is one of the newer decks. I do have my Yuki deck that I'm still tweaking from Green Sword Art Online, so that'll be up soon, especially with the rare battle season incoming. I am also working on Purple Clover, so be on the lookout for that. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Have a great day.